Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Tim Shaw. I'm the president of Global Flight. And with me today on the screen also presenting will be Roger Mann, our CEO. For those of you who don't know much about Global Flight, we are an Ohio-based company that has built our product on Air Force Research Laboratory researched and patented technology, utilizing a staff within Global Flight that have a combined of over 100 years of public service experience in emergency response. Most of those, like myself, I have 18 years FBI SWAT missions, along with others on this team that have had responses to 9/11 and other major disasters. We've provided an unparalleled service to the first responders to help clear the fog of chaos and incidents by allowing the incident commander, the chief, the mayor, public works, the administrator of the city or county, the ability to make informed decisions to protect life, property, before, during, and after an incident. We asked that you filled out a brief survey at the beginning, and what we saw the results of this is you're concerned about communication, comprehension, collaboration, and you're additionally concerned about multiple events occurring in your community. Now, the reason we did this survey today is we use this information and surveys like this and other techniques to collect customer and end user feedback. We take that data to meet the needs of public safety community and allow them to utilize our Aware product daily. While we have a lot of years of experience, we want to know what people today are dealing with so we can build the Aware product to meet those needs. Aware is built on a product that was researched and patented by the Air Force Research Lab called multimodal communication. This consists of spatial audio separation, transcription of radio conversations, the ability to text, the ability to send pictures, video, and you'll see MMC along with our action map and our Aware Indoor capability demonstrated here in a few seconds. So Aware's been built to be used in active situations. However, a lot of you have pre-plans for active shooters in your schools, for chemical plants that may have fires, that you have plans in place that you have rehearsed, you've practiced, you've taken best practices and your own experiences to come up with these plans. These action plans can also be used for training for those real situations. And after you put the action plans into our system, as you'll see demonstrated today, those action plans become a default starting point for a real incident. The action plan, when activated, goes from being a static plan that you've worked on with fire, police, everybody that's involved in it. It now becomes a live incident, and it gives you the ability to move assets on the map. It gives you ability to react to the situation. Even though we can prepare for it, we don't know what the situation is going to be. So you can move assets, you can bring in units and move it around on the map. The nice thing about it is at the end of that live incident that you took out of your action plan now becomes available for you for your after action reports with all the other things that you'll see demonstrated today. Additionally, that action plan now stays in the system. You don't have to re-enter it. You don't have to update it unless you want to. And what's really nice is when you update your action plan, everybody gets the update at the same time. You don't have to make sure that the books that have the plans in it, you have the paper submitted to replace this page and that page. What you're going to see today for a bit more investment of our Aware product, Aware Indoor, can provide you on-scene 3D imaging of your significant buildings, your schools, your community buildings, your government buildings. What I think is great about this information is you can be right in your fire apparatus, your command vehicle, your patrol vehicle, on a MDT, a smartphone, an iPad, and you're getting all this information. We built this to be used on scene. You don't have to be in the office. We also have the ability to capture information and data from other systems to bring in. So if you have systems out there, we've talked to several people who are very interested in us. And one of the questions they ask is, we like this system, would you integrate it? We're more than willing to do that. And one example you'll see today is the integration of Data Buoy with their shot point sensing system that does shot detection both indoors and outdoors. We're going to show you how easy it is to plan for, respond to events, no matter how big or small they are. So I've taken up enough time with an introduction here. So I'm going to turn this over to Roger to start the demonstration. And feel free to ask questions during the demonstration. And if they're pertinent to what we're doing at the time, we'll answer them. If not, we'll answer them as time allows. So thank you very much for attending today. And Roger, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tim. Let's start with an action map. And we're highlighting here a 4th of July fireworks celebration at Pratt Park in Stafford County, Virginia. You're seeing an intuitive touchscreen that was built by our amazing team of designers and coders. And the reason that we chose Stafford is Commonwealth of Virginia selected Aware and its suite as part of its smart community testbed, which is hosted there in Stafford. And it gives us these very high fidelity data sets. For instance, the air photo that is the base map for this action plan. Let me start out and share what I'll do is I'll put a highlighter on the places that I'm pointing out to you. So to begin with, you can have a danger zone, and this radius can be set by the types of ordnance you are worried about at the firework for its explosive and fire. Likewise, an inner perimeter, and on the inner perimeter, you can readily see that we have security staff. I can turn it on a little bit more so that those icons have the actual types of units that are pre-positioned at those places. You can also see a lot of rich location information, such as where a casualty collection point is, where you might have media, roads that you're allowing emergency vehicles to egress, but you're not allowing citizens to come into your outer perimeter. You can see where a command post is there on the ball diamond. You can also see a unification point. You can see where your EMS teams are. These high fidelity resolutions, you can drill in deeper to the view. You can see how nice that type of resolution is. As Tim mentioned, we have indoor information, which I'll share in another action plan, but we also can consume any GIS layer that your jurisdiction has, including 3D imagery, if you had it.
So Roger, I'd like to interrupt here real quick.
Sure.
If you notice, if you could just scroll out just a bit on your screen, if you notice, I added 3 engines, one up at the top, one over to the right of the screen, and one to the left near the river. The reason I did that is I wanted to show you something very unique about us. And that is, as you are planning your responses, as you're planning your events, I'm sitting in Ohio, Roger's sitting in Virginia. We can collaborate on a plan so you can be at the firehouse if you have to cover because you're short on staffing, or you are at the police station and you've got some things that you've got to get done. You don't have to physically meet up. You can work on this together. So that's one of the benefits we bring to the table as far as action planning and potentially tabletop exercises.
As Tim was talking, I actually turned on the hydrant layer, which would inform the fire planners, the fire service planners for the fire ground, to be able to put their engines close by the fire hydrants. Likewise, I can change the thematics. So for instance, if I was concerned about chemical spills, this is going to go to a street view, and it's going to bring in the layers of the sewage systems, the manhole covers, and the like. You can turn to search and rescue. You can turn to ability to show search grids. All of those are brought in on runtime. Anything that's available from the GIS department We operate on ArcGIS, which is by far the most used across all the jurisdictions. With that, what I'm going to shift over to is another action plan. This action plan, a lot of places all across the country will have football games on Friday night. And it's often nice. Again, here we are in Stafford County at a high school called Mountain View. And here again, we have some pretty nice high resolution imagery where you can say very accurately, where do I want my security staff? You know, where do I want fire? Again, if I wanted to say, oh, let me take a look at where the hydrants are here, same sort of thing. You can take a look at where the fire hydrants are and put the pumpers associated. You can see one's there and one's there close by, that fire engine. You also see that we put a rally point in the event that there is a concern with, say, a scuff up between rival teams or their fans. Likewise, you can decide, I just want to have one very visible police vehicle or maybe a county sheriff's vehicle right here as people are coming into the stadium. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift over to an action plan that's centered around a scenario that we're going to demonstrate the integrations that Tim was talking about. This action plan is built around Stafford County's administrative building. And I have it in street view initially. If I wanted to, I could, if this event was happening at night, I could go into a night view, which is certainly necessary in the darkness to be able to see your screen. I can turn on the air photo layer. And again, very high resolution air photos. And I want to highlight a couple of things that are new on this from the previous plans. Tim mentioned building indoor. The icon that we use for that operational layer is this one here, which is the yellow with a building. And that means that at that location, we have a 3D image inside the building that is highly accurate. And we'll show that in action when it's triggered and cued by a sensor from Data Buoy's gunshot detector called ShotPoint. I also want to point out that if a dispatcher or any responding unit were to call this up either in the call center, 911 center, or on their mobile data terminal, they would see that there's already a place for the command post where you're going to reunify people, where you want to set your perimeters. They would also see that the rally point is here, which is at the front entrance of that building. That'll be important later on when I actually do the trigger of the gunshot detection, because you'll hear the dispatcher spring immediately into action because they look at this plan that I'll be firing from the gunshot detection. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to as if this action plan wasn't activated. So you see we're just here with all of our action plans. And I am going to launch a gunshot. And as that gunshot detector goes off, it's using integration code, smart community type of Internet of Things, in order to send what in a technical speak is a GeoJSON trigger over to our system to let us know that there has been a gunshot detected. I'm applying the action plan. I see a second gunshot has just gone off. You hear multimodal communication, which I'll show you in a moment, going off in the background. But I can go to where the gunshot was detected, and I can actually see imagery of the assailant. So now you actually have a photo of the person that fired the gunshot. I'm able at this point to go to any of the operational layers, including where the gunshot was detected. So now I'm entering Stafford's office building at the second floor. I can rapidly get an assessment at that location, look down the stairwell. I can look down the hallway. I can see that the courtyard is here. And this way, I know my units are responding to these shots and their locations within the second floor. I know that there's an exit out to the courtyard here. I know there's a stairwell here. The units rallied here. And now I can take a look. I can take a look at the multimodal communications that's going on. Just a moment here. You heard it. You heard the things that were being spoken that the dispatcher was sharing. Now I'm actually showing the live transcriptions of those. That south stairwell exit is right here, down by the bottom of the danger zone. So they're going in through the front door, up those steps that I showed you inside. Everyone knows where the two shots were taken. They know the stairwell they're going in. They know that they have unobstructed access.
So one of the things that we like to add in into this is with the transcription, we have keyword alerts. Now, it's not going to show on this demo because it's not live radio traffic, but what happens is if you put in a keyword alert for subject and Roger will just or establish a unified command, whatever, you see how it's highlighted. MMC is built in a deep neural network. If you look at me, you're going to understand that I can't explain much more than that, other than the fact that we've trained our language model to understand public safety radio traffic. We built our language model with initially with 200 hours of transcribed radio traffic, and since then we've continued to update that. What you see with the shots fired, shot fired, you can add those keywords as you want. You can put whatever keywords you want in there. It's going to attract your eye. If you can't hear it, you go back, you play the replay, you make sure you hear what you're doing. One of the reasons we do the keywords is there's a research project out there called the Mayday Project. And the Mayday Project took 5,000 fire calls, and they went through them and found key phrases, 13 to 16 key phrases that occurred just before a Mayday call on a fire, right at the beginning of a Mayday call on a fire, or a Mayday call that ended in tragedy that Mayday was missed. We've taken all of those key phrases and we've highlighted those so they will come out no matter what. So the keywords, the transcription, and the spatial audio, which allows you to separate multiple radio channels. Why do we want spatial audio? I don't think things have changed since I retired. There's only two ways that I know of that you can listen to more than one radio. First, you put it on scan and you hope you don't miss the channel you need as another one picks up. Or you get 3 to 4 radios, you put them out, you either try to listen to them yourself or you get 3 to 4 people to listen, and then you start playing the circle game where you pass information around and hope you don't miss it. We allow you to monitor up to 8 radio channels. And that transcription box that you see on the screen that Roger's presenting, each radio channel will have its own transcription. What's really nice is we allow you to turn off a radio channel. In other words, not listen to it, but it will continue to transcribe. So if police is on the scene and they're handling something, fire's on the scene, but they really don't need to listen to what police are doing right now because they're handling their own part of the incident, they can turn that transcript off, but keywords will come up. The other nice thing we're building into the product is if you are logged in, but you're not actively in an incident a keyword alert box will come up and tell you, hey, we just picked up this keyword alert. Do you want to listen to it? You click on it, it goes right to the channel. You get to see the transcription and you get to see the radio and listen to it. So MMC consists of a lot of things. It's not just radio transcription and spatial separation. It's multi-modes of communication, multimodal communication. So like I said in the beginning, all this will work on smartphones. It'll work on iPads. It'll work on tablets. So to my police friends out there, what happens when you get a description over the radio? I would say about 90% of the time, maybe more. The next thing you hear is someone say, can you repeat that? Well, we have the ability to take a picture with our cell phones. And I know one of the big concerns for fire and police is if you take a picture on your personal cell phone, now the prosecuting attorney, the DA, defense are going to get your phone because that's the evidence. Here's how we do this. If you take a picture using our application on your smart device, it is stored in the cloud. It is not stored on your phone. So therefore, we eliminate that evidentiary because all this is kept in compliance with CJIS and in compliance with HIPAA, which brought me to one of the questions that was asked about the sensitivity of our data protected in AWARE. AWARE is, like I said, HIPAA compliant, CJIS compliant. AWARE is also, the data is encrypted both at rest and in transit. The system right now is stored in AWS Cloud. We'll be moving to the AWS.gov, which will give us more security. So this will allow us to continue to provide you with anything that's put over the radio kept quiet to you. Now, people are asking, that's great, you have radio transcription and all. How long does it take? From the time you release the push to talk button until it gets through our system back down to the screen and into your headset is about a second, maybe a second and a half. We guarantee the transcription to be 70% accurate. We guarantee the 70% accurate. Right now, we're a little bit higher than that. We're probably in the 80s to mid 80s. The reason we guarantee 70% is AFRL research conducted said that if you have a transcription in front of you that's 70% accurate, you add in the ability to listen to the conversation at the same time, your comprehension of first time seeing and hearing that transmission increases by 70%. That's amazing when you have to make decisions on how to handle a situation to protect lives and property. The other thing I want to throw out there for those folks that might be county commissioners, county administrators, we have a client that Public Works really likes this. I live out here in Ohio. Tornadoes are not uncommon. If a police officer or a fire officer calls in and says, hey, I have debris on 3rd Street. We need to get somebody out here to clean it up. A lot of times people will send out, without much follow-up, say, hey, you guys take the pickup truck and the chainsaw and go out there and get that tree off of there. Problem is, you get out there, it might be the side of a building. So now if that officer can take a quick picture, it'll be geolocated on the map and you know exactly what to go out there. So now you're utilizing your assets more effectively as you respond to incidents.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to answer a few more of these questions. Sure. First one says, do you need continuous internet access to work? And are the locations of mobile users seen on the map? So the first one, the answer is yes, you do need for live updates, continuous internet access. We have a partner called Plumcase that provides very assured connections to command vehicles and then a dome of Wi-Fi. Also, many people are now taking, the band 14, whether it's with Verizon or AT&T, and having that continuous access. If you do have a disconnected operation, our designers built us to store and forward that upon reconnecting. So if there was a radio spurt that happened while you were disconnected, that will then be forwarded with a timestamp that you can replay upon reconnecting. And that's true with all of our features through a real-time framework. And the answer to are the locations of the mobile users seen on the map? The answer is yes. And that's the beauty of resource allocation. So while you'll have a pre-plan, as Tim said, you might move someone, and then you'll see when that resource or that unit arrives at the location on the scene, not just the address of the computer-aided dispatch.
So there's a couple other questions I want to answer here. One is, does the MMC work with all frequencies in radio vendors? The answer to that question is yes. We are agnostic. We don't care if you have Harris. We don't care if you have Motorola. We actually have gone out and purchased some handheld radios from Walmart that we can use for testing to get our equipment set up to bring to your site. We also don't care if you're 800, if you're UHF, if you're VHF. We actually have already tested both military radios for the National Guard in West Virginia with the law enforcement radios in our system working together, and they work just fine. The only thing that we need to know is what radio are you talking on, what model is it, so we can get the right cable. The way our system works is we bring the information out of your system and run it in through a box, and all that box does is turn it into a WAV file. Then it goes up to our deep neural network where it's transcribed, spatially separated, and stored. The other question is about the mutual aid. One of the things that we have done is we built this. We realized big departments can afford this and can use this. Small to medium departments, I spent my entire 21-year career of the FBI working on the street. And so I know how to work with small and medium departments. They love the fact that you can come in and give them assets. So if you have neighboring jurisdictions that do a lot of mutual aid, you can, if you both are logged into and have the Aware product, you can sign an agreement and we will allow you to exchange information in our system. Also, if you have responders coming in for a big event, tornado, storm, fire, demonstrations, whatever, and you want to add people during that incident, the last thing that we want you to have to worry about is how much is it going to cost for me to go over my number of subscribers and add people. We give you the ability to scale up during the incident. We give you the ability to add users, add needs, so everybody has situational awareness and knows what's going on. On a smartphone app, if you tell someone, hey, you guys need to go to the staging area, they don't have to get back on the radio and ask for directions. They touch the staging area on their cell phone, and then it flips over and gives them turn-by-turn directions. At the end of the quarter, we're going to come back to you and say, hey, you added 20 users. Do you still need them? If you're like me after an incident, you're doing all your after actions, you're getting back to normal, you're probably getting some sleep, and you're going to forget all about the 20 users you added. Just tell us no. If you don't need them, we delete them. No harm, no foul, and most of all, no charge. The other question that was asked here real quick is, what's the cost for a subscription to Aware capabilities? Our standard base subscription is 60 users, 4 radio channels, and that gives that costs $24,500 for a 2-year subscription. If you break that down, that's just a little over $1,000 a month. The ability to scale up, if you have more than 60 users, it scales accordingly. Like I said, if you want Aware Indoor, we charge by the square foot on that, so that would be an addition. Also, the data buoy shot detection, there's a separate company. They will come in and do the installation on that. That will come to our system.
Hey, Tim.
Go ahead.
I want to take a couple of these other questions as well. One was, does Aware work with current computer-aided dispatch systems? And the answer is yes. We have an API for CAD. And what we bring in is the type of response that the CAD's the dispatch is being deployed, and the location, so that comes in as a lookup for our gazetteer to orient you. And if you have an action plan at that location, that will immediately pop up for you to activate. The other question was, does CARES Act or the American Rescue Plan Act cover our service? The answer is yes. We have a couple of customers that we've helped work scope documentation to be eligible for those funding sources at the local level. Tim, I'm going to point over to you. I don't know if you want to handle this right now, but there was a question about how long does it take to set up an incident plan?
I'm going to answer the three remaining questions on the board about how long does it set up, how do you do it, is there a live help desk, and what kind of training is required. So I'm going to share with you the answer to the training. We have a help desk. It is 24/7. It's located right here in Ohio. We're not going anywhere but here in Ohio. I'm not going because we can save money to move out of country. I want you to be able to have people, when you call at 2 or 3 in the morning in the middle of a crisis, to be able to talk to someone not only that you can understand, but that also understands our system and can guide you through what we need. The reason I say that is our help desk right now also does our testing and our quality assurance of our product. So I'm going to show real quick what we do for our users that will be coming out. So
all right, here we are going to create an incident. So first off, hit create incident, type in your desired address. Here we will name the incident. Here you can add a description and then just hit next, draw incident. And here it is created.
So what that allows you to do is it gives you the YouTube videos that are out there. I know I use them all the time. I recently bought a grill. It didn't come with instructions. There was a YouTube video. I was able to do it. So we're making these so you can click on them real quick to get what you need. The other thing is you saw how quick it took to set up an incident. Once it's set up, this is built for folks that are busy, for folks that are in a crisis situation. I'm not saying you got bullets flying or you got fire burning around you, but you're trying to handle a situation with a lot of data coming in. It's nothing more than click on the icon, click where you want it, label it, save, you're done. What's nice about our icons is you can pick whatever icons you want. We're just putting these in as standard icons. If you want to change your icon to look at something else, feel free to do so. That was done. So what kind of training is required? Well, this is a very intuitive project, and I'll tell you why. When we were developing this, developers would come into a meeting and they would tell me, Tim, this is what we've developed. Just go to this point, click here, now click here, now click here. And I said, time out. If I'm in an incident and I'm on my computer, I want to click once to do what I need to do. If I don't, I'm going to shut my computer down and I'm going to go back to what we really don't want to see these days, and that's pen and paper. That's trying, drawing on a whiteboard, taking a picture of the whiteboard when you're done. So when we do that, we made this very intuitive. So I got another question.
Yeah, I'm going to take that next one.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
The next question came up. Is there functionality to switch between floors for building layout plans? And the person thought they might have missed that earlier in the demo. And the answer is yes, there is. And I'm going to share my screen again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go over to the first floor of that same office building. If you recall, I mentioned that the rally point was in the front entrance, and this is on the first floor. And I want to point out two things that I didn't point out earlier. One is every place that says like C12 or C72, those are actually security cameras. So you already know where you'll be able to get a shot that can correlate to the gunshot detection from that. And if I go here, you can see I've gone right through the front door. If you remember during the demo, is at the top of that same set of stairs looking down. If I want to go from the first floor to the second floor, I simply push this button and it goes to the second floor. So that's the way you traverse from one floor to the next floor.
Okay, going to give you a couple more minutes here for questions, and then I want to show you another product while you're waiting. So Roger talked about, we have Plumcase as one of our partners. We have Data Buoy as one of our partners, obviously Esri, Air Force Research Lab. And I will say this, the Air Force Research Lab is continuing to work with us and advising us on what we need to do to get our language models and our transcription better and better. So what I would like to,
yes. Want to interrupt before you fire that video, because you mentioned Esri, and there was another question about whether, if say you're in a smaller jurisdiction and you're not an Esri shop, do you have to license Esri? And the answer is no. To get the fundamental standard subscription from us as an Esri business partner, our subscription and that service is rendered to you authorized by Esri. So if you're looking to have the higher intensity geodata sets, that's going to require an Esri license and the ability to produce those.
Okay, I'm going to take this next question, and the question was, is it possible to segregate overlays so a given agency can create a map that only that agency can see? The answer to that question is yes. It comes down to users' access. There are times that even within the police department, SWAT or other folks don't want to have people seeing what they're doing on the map. We can do that through user permissions. Fire may not want police seeing something that they're doing, and that's fine. But the answer is, if you're working a mutual aid and you've got a department that you don't want to see an overlay for whatever reason, user permissions, we can do that. Most people that get the read only on their smart devices, there'll only be certain people within an operation as ICS dictates. You have one incident commander, one operational person. Those will be the ones that'll be moving things on the map. I can't move things on the map if I'm out, if I get out of my car and I'm on foot patrol or I'm on looking for something. I still have my radio with me. I still have the ability to see the map, but it's read only.
So Tim, I think where you're going next is we just have a short clip of our other partner, Blue Vigil. Some of you might have attended a demo we did with them maybe a month or two ago. So we wanted to share that.
So Roger, I got a question here, and I think I answered it, but I want to make sure. One more question. You said standard subscription comes with 60 licenses. Are those all editor or a combination editor viewer licenses? The answer to that question is you'll have an administrator for your account, and you determine yourself. When we first started this, we thought, well, we only need 5 people that can do this and 50 people that can. Now, it's your department, you know who needs what, so we give you the ability to assign permissions within your own organization.
Yeah, so all 60 people could edit if that's the permissions you want to give them.
So real quick, I'm going to share a real quick video for those of you that used drones. This is a real quick demonstration of the
just taking off. We're going to go just a few feet in the air. We'll stay there for just a minute. Okay, so the reason I wanted to stop here right now, the tether is not on. It's not powered on. And you can see that we're flying on batteries. That flight counter there says 36 minutes. That's typical for a fully charged battery system with this payload in these sorts of conditions on this drone. And I'm going to hold it there for just a second. And now we're going to turn the tether on. Rob, if you don't mind. There you go. Thank you. Okay. So we turn the tether on. Now, as part of our pre-flight checklist, we always suggest that you take off without the tether on just to make sure the batteries are in fact working properly. And clearly they are. So now we turn the tethers on and look at the flight time counter now. It's going up. It's going up quite a bit. In our last demo, we had it about 320 minutes. This algorithm here basically is calculating the depletion rate of these batteries. And right now, the batteries are not depleting at all because they are logically disconnected from the drone. The drone is flying on just power from the tether.
So that's another product we offer to go along with our Aware product. I'm going to kind of pause just for a second here to see if there's any other questions before we wrap this up. We want to be very respectful of your time. Doesn't look like it. So want to thank everybody for coming in. And this afternoon, what we've demonstrated for you is our capabilities of the Aware product. We've demonstrated our multimodal communication, which is the radio transcription, the spatial separation, the use of texting, the use of video, the use of pictures. The other thing that we demonstrated was our action map. The third thing that we demonstrated was the Aware indoor capability, 3D capability to give you what you need to see when you're on scene, what's in that building. And the fourth capability we showed today was our shot detection that we partnered with Data Buoy that comes right into our system. I think the benefit of the shot detection is it's going to cut down your response time because you're not waiting on 911 calls to come in. You're getting the sensor coming right to your system. Therefore, you're getting the Data Buoy alert and you're getting the alert in our Aware system. So your dispatcher has it on the screen, automatically sees that and can start moving units, responding before 911 calls come in. These components that we showed you today, we feel will help you better plan for, respond to, and mitigate, and if necessary, damages from an incident. Aware's core capabilities are going to provide you with improved comprehension, communication, and collaboration for your first responders in your community. Some of the benefits that you'll see by using Aware, besides what we've already talked about and demonstrated today, is the ability to conduct tabletop exercises more efficiently, because you don't have to all meet in one place. You don't have to find that room where everybody can sit, get the monitors. You can sit right at your desk and it can be done remotely. Secondly, this will allow you also to train those junior officers that you have in your departments in ICS by allowing them to conduct responses to situations in the Aware training mode. The Aware training mode, when you get your organization, you will have Aware Live, which is what you'll use daily when you respond. And then you have a training mode where you can go in and conduct tabletop exercises where you can train your junior officers, or you had an incident and now you want to go back and do an after action and look at what really happened. You can use that to do that. One of the things I want to talk about today is we would like to extend to all of you attending a 40% discount off of the Aware Indoor pricing. So you buy the standard package. If you want your buildings, we will give you a 40% discount. That discount will be good for up to 45 days. We're not asking you to make a decision today, but we'll make that decision available to you for the next 45 days. I don't see any other questions. And so what I would like to say is to thank everybody for attending this afternoon, taking time out of your busy schedules. Look forward to working with each of you and helping to protect your communities in the future. And if you need anything, Jamie will put up our contact information and you can email us. We will get back to you. And we look forward to coming out and doing more demonstrations or talking to more folks. So thank you very much.